Road trip from Pittsburgh to California. Went from Pittsburgh across the whole country. You can see the map there. Day one. Drove from Pittsburgh to Indiana. Look at that sky. Is before went to the hotel. Day two. From Richmond to Hays, Kansas. That's probably in Kansas right there. Look at that sun. Nice. Day three, drive from Hays to Moab, Utah. Look at this. You can see the Utah sign coming up here on the right. Here it comes. Here it is right there. First time to Utah. Look at that. Wow. Now, I'm with one of my best friends of life, Josh. He's in the car with me, and we're heading to Arches National Park. Look at that. Perfect timing. There's a map. Kind of enter through the bottom of the map. It's a different shot. Kind of more of the middle. It's a nice park. Another shot, but blurry, in case that's what you're into. Look at that. Look at Josh. Yeah, that's just gonna have some different pictures. You can see Josh walking away with some strangers in there. Now we're just going around the park. Beautiful. That's a great road. There's a small chance that picture maybe it was a different park. Actually, that goes for every picture or video. If it's in the wrong park, I'm sorry. Okay, now this was a great place. Look at that. Look at all those people hanging out in the arches. I'm just walking around taking pictures. Now I'm one of those people looking out. Josh was out there for some reason in the car. Look at that. It's crazy. Highly recommend going there. There's a lot of people, but everyone was very nice. So, even more reason to go. Look at this. Another area, and you can look over and see that. Now I'm like behind the arch, and you can see the person back there saw me, and she came back there too. She found my little temporary hidden spot. Now you can see the I can't pronounce it. Oh well. That was neat. Who knows how old that was. Now this was a nice hike. I'm gonna try to say it again. The delicate. Alright. One of the arches I'm hiking to. This one. Bam. That's me and Josh. This was really neat. You're kind of like wedged between these massive rocks or canyons, whatever you want to call it, with sand on the ground. And I think if I could pick the best ideal spot to live, I would live between two big rocks like that with sand on the ground. It was so nice. I forget the name of most of everything. I'm just watching, trying to not. Okay. Well, day 5 Canyonlands. In Canyonlands, you can see it's or it's kind of moving around. Canyonlands is right next to Arches National Park. You can see Arches in the top right there. Um, Nice blurry picture there, just to make it um, for the people that only see blurry pictures. Tip: if you go to Arches National Park, you should also go to Canyonlands because they're right there. Now, me and Josh were at Canyonlands and it started to rain.
That's a good video. That's a good video.
You know, I started heading back to the car because I didn't want to die on that spot, and everyone else is heading back to the cars. So, but it got nice again soon. Look at this. This is all in the same hour of when it was raining in that video. This is when I almost had enough of it. Me and Josh are out hiking. When I was here, actually, I didn't know where I was going. So now we left Canyonlands National Park, and we're still heading through Utah. It was pretty remote, and we were heading to Capitol Reef. Actually, this is a neat gas station. It's built into the mountain. So day 6, Capitol Reef National Park. Another great park. There's a map. Some hikes and their information. There's me and Josh. This one I think was the middle or something. I don't know. It was a nice hike. Josh repping Giant Eagle and Gatorade. There was a whole look at that sky. It's a great sky. Another arch, even though we're not in Arches. Now, I wish I could go back to this hike and just do it again. It was a nice, pretty flat hike. There's a donkey or a goat or something. There it is again. Most of these pictures are the same hike. This was scary. I didn't know what was coming, but I could hear it. It's just Josh. Nothing to be scared of, folks. I don't know what that's called on the rocks, but it looks neat. So there was a forest fire, and you can see it in the picture right there. Look at that. This is in Utah. It was going on while we were driving, and I didn't know what to do, but ends up I just had to keep driving past it. Bryce Canyon National Park. This is a really nice park, really different. Some of the trails right there you can see. The Navajo Loop. I think that was my favorite. Like the combo one, I forget. I should have made that go slower. Yeah, look at that. You don't see that every day. Unless you were to live there, and then you would. But I don't know if anyone lives there. This is neat. This reminds me of a Dr. Seuss book. You have to wonder if this didn't inspire Dr. Seuss. I forget which book or books, but some of the rock formations. Look at that little cave. And that guy, those people, who knows who they are? There's me inside of the cave, and it made me look red. Look how neat this was. I'd like to go back there. Look at that. There's rocks just hanging out up there. Another little cave. There was a bunch of those. Or these. They said they were made naturally. I'm just kidding. But actually I don't know. They could be, but probably man-made. Yeah, this was a great hike. Really neat. Made you feel like you were somewhere way different, you know, than Pittsburgh. Now I'm like hiking up now, so I'm like looking across, and I'm in some little like cave tunnel thing again. I'm looking down on those people. Now I'm kind of at the top again. Now Josh is in the car through this whole time. Look at that bird. That's cool. That's pretty neat. We need to go up there and live up there. That's another neat arch. I think they call them natural bridges. Look at that. Look like an alien. And there was some kid who looked like an alien who helped me that same day. Putting a tent together. Now we went to Zion National Park. We're on the very west part of Utah now. Look, there's a map. You can't drive through most of Zion. You have to ride the shuttle, which is really nice actually. So get prepared, or you can ride a bike or walk. But can't drive through most of it. If you hike the Narrows, which you should do, you probably should wear some shoes or something you don't mind getting wet, and maybe bring a walking stick for balance. Some maps. There's some shuttle schedules in case they don't change it, I guess. Some trail information. It's a great park. Maybe definitely my top 5 favorite parks in the United States. Look at that. Gorgeous. No, these people are all my friends I was hanging out with. I'm just kidding. I don't know any of those people. Probably a bunch of losers. Look at that. This beautiful rock. Nice little squirrel. Looks like heaven, you know? Look at that. There's the shuttle. This shuttle replaces 47 cars. Now this is the Narrows hike. And pretty much most of this trail you're walking through I believe it's the Virgin River, and it's really nice and clean. And it's really long. And as you keep going, there's less and less people, so it gets a little more peaceful as you go. This was my favorite hike at the park. I'd recommend doing this one. If you want to do the whole thing, you pretty much need the whole day or most of the day. Depending how early you get up, I guess. And how fast you move. Yeah, it was a great time. I was enjoying myself. Look, don't feed the squirrels. And I've seen things on the internet that they say squirrels are eating meat now. It's like, I bet they're like not getting fed. They're hungry. They're gonna die unless they eat. It's a nice canyon there. Some of these pictures may be redundant. Look, there's the shuttle stop, one of them. Stop 8. This was at Watchman Campground, part of Zion Park. Camped out here. It was really nice. Recommend camping there. Heading back through the Narrows here. Some beautiful water, beautiful rocks. All the people were really nice. It was pretty crowded, especially at the beginning of the hike. And then, there's less and less people. Sometimes I was wondering if I went too far because I hadn't seen anybody in like 10, 15 minutes. And then I'd see somebody I know that keep going. Well, that was a really long clip. I like it. 'Cause I'm the one who did this. That was beautiful. Yeah, I'm gonna go back here someday. This is why national parks are so important. If this wasn't a national park, I probably couldn't afford to go here. Look how beautiful it is. We should make most land national land. So I can walk wherever I want. Yeah, this isn't gonna win like some documentary award. So if you're some random internet person, I'm sorry you're watching this. This is more for me to watch as I get older and start to get dumber and forget things I've done. So I can watch this and be like, oh yeah, that was awesome. I've done some pretty cool stuff. And if anyone ever denies that I went here, I can show them this video. Prove them wrong. It's an aerial view of me hiking in the water. Didn't really get a picture that I was hoping to get showing, you know, being in the water. That was the best one I got, which is like Yeah, I guess you could tell them in the water. I thought there was something majestic about this picture. And that was a waterfall. That's me near the waterfall. You see it back in the background there with my hiking stick. Now we left. Josh was in the car the whole time, FYI, in Zion. And in the welcome center. That is in Nevada. So we left Utah, went into Arizona briefly, into Nevada. Now we're leaving Nevada, and now we're in California. This was my first time in Utah, Nevada, and California. And I will say, they were all fantastic. Look at this. I don't even know what this is, but it was nice. So, went to Yosemite National Park. There's a map of Yosemite Valley. I think that's like the main part of the park. Maybe that's not accurate saying that, but I think that's like the main part of the park. This map here is blurry once again, and it shows you more of the whole thing. Another picture of the valley, and now a picture of the campground. I stayed at Porcupine Flat Campground. It was nice. Now this was in August, and it was still got into like the 40s at night when we were camping. It's chilly. Beautiful. Some of the nicest camping I've ever done. I would highly recommend this park. All the parks. Every park so far was fantastic. But this one, is exceptionally nice. Yosemite. Same as Zion and Arches. Canyonlands. Capitol Reef. Bryce Canyon. Those are some stars and trees. Nice mountain. Little walkway. Look at that. It's like a little castle feel. I wanted to get in there and ride it down into that water. But since other people weren't doing it, I figured probably should. And that's probably like could hurt the park. But it looked tempting. What was Now Josh is in the welcome center with the car. Now I rode the shuttle around for this park too, but I think you can drive around most of this park. Or I did drive around a lot of this park, but Yosemite Valley there's a shuttle. And I rode the Valley shuttle. This maybe was my favorite area of the park where these pictures are at right now. A lot of friendly people on the trails. Look at that. Kind of reminds me of Homeward Bound, the movie with the dog and the cat. The dogs, both dogs and the cat. For some reason, I can't remember those animal names. Chance, I think, was the one. And then Peter? Is that Paul? Peter? They might be the boys now. Sassy? Something, I don't know. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about. So FYI, when I'm making this right now, talking, it's 12:41. So I'm getting sleepy. Look at that picture of the tree. That's a great tree and a great river and a great mountain. I think that's El Capitan or whatever it is. Not sure. Sun was going down. And we left Yosemite, headed to Big Sur and Pinnacles National Park. Big Sur first. Even though these are maps of Pinnacles National Park. There's an error on my part. Now we're at the ocean, Pacific Ocean. Third time ever been to the Pacific Ocean. First time Josh was ever at the Pacific Ocean. There he is touching the water. Water did not see that coming. Now, those are some strangers I took pictures of. And I will forever have a picture of those strangers. And that's what they get for being there that day. It was our day. Now, it was surprisingly chilly. Well, for summer. And there was not much cell phone service here. But it was gorgeous. We're on Highway 1 going down through Big Sur. Now they're doing road construction, so we had to turn around, come back up 1, and then head to Pinnacles National Park. Highly recommend getting on this road because it's nice. Look at that. That's like clouds from the ocean. Doesn't even make sense. World's crazy. Yeah, we're in a cave, Pinnacles National Park. Some really annoying people wouldn't shut up. Should like bang my hands against my chest like a gorilla and start yelling. See if I could scare him out of there. And if you're watching and that's you, what were you talking about? Now I'm in a cave and it's silent because it's a picture, but it's probably noisy still because those people that probably are like, I'm inside of a cave, saying that over and over again. Now I got lost in the cave eventually when everyone was gone, and eventually a few nice girls, they also got lost, but they helped me and themselves get unlost, and thank you to them. That's a neat one, another neat little like cave. Wait, hold on a second. Alright, so now driving to Kings Canyon National Park in Sequoia. Yeah, we did 9 national parks on this trip. Day 14. Now, was I exhausted from doing this? Yes. Actually, this was in August, and now it's October, and I'm still exhausted. So, but it was a great time. This was a trip of a lifetime. Josh, wish you came out hiking more, but I hope you had a good time. I felt bad that you were hanging out in the car so much. Or at the visitor center. Actually, I have no idea what Josh was doing. He could have been having a great time doing all kind of stuff. I'm assuming he was at the visitor centers. A tip, King Canyon National Park and Sequoia are basically the same thing. Yeah, you come to one of these, you're at both. Don't fool yourselves. You're not. Why would you come to one and not go 20 feet over and go to the other one? Big trees. Gotta wonder how much better the earth would be if those idiots didn't cut down all the big trees back in the day. People would still cut these down if they could. Could almost probably break down the good and the evil based off that alone. Like if the United States gave you that tree and you can leave it there, or you can have it cut down, sell it, and you'd get rich because that'd be really good wood probably. And everybody that would sell it are all the sucky people. There you go. That's like better than the shopping cart thing. That's a nice picture of me and Josh. I'm representing Pitt. Josh is representing Giant Eagle again. The river. Look at that. There's probably some little fish in there. Having a great time. Now I'm hiking through some trees. It's a neat picture. And look at that. Like the green almost goes into the water. Another beautiful park. I'd highly recommend parks coming here. Someday I will be at every national park in the world. But I have a long way to go. Think I've been to 20 some of the United States and 12 or 13 the Canadian. Look at that. Part of me wanted to like go in there and walk around in the water again. California, Kings Canyon National Park. Look at that beautiful waterfall. there was probably like 10 other people in this area right here, FYI. I didn't like find some hidden gem. I think it was like the highlight of the hike. But the pictures, you know, I look, there's somebody in the corner, but, you know, I didn't take pictures representing how many people were there. It wasn't crowded, but like I said, there was probably 10 people. It was nice. Look at that. Probably some crazy animal out there somewhere, having a great day, hunting down some other unlucky animal. I didn't see any crazy wildlife on this whole trip, other than that goat donkey thing. Some squirrels, I saw a little lizard, some rabbits. Got gas at a really neat little gas station. It appeared to almost be like homemade pumps. Josh repping the Giant Eagle. Me in the pit again. Nice turn. If you go straight, you go off. Those are the best turns. The ones that give you a choice. Nah, it took me a while, but I put all those up. I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. It's Josh walking through the parking lot. They name these trees because they're bored. But it's nice. You know, maybe someday we can rename these trees. General Sherman, you know. Kind of sounds like a jerk. Look at that. You could like hang out inside the tree. It's a phenomenal tree. A lot of these were hit by fires, and that's why they have the burn marks. But they lived through it. These are like some real deal trees here. These aren't little maple trees. That would make a really nice boat though, you know? Can't deny it. Someone went through Sequoia and just took on all the trees. They can make one massive, really nice boat. And then, you know, ride it around. General Sherman tree, look at those people all taking pictures. There was a line, FYI. I would say that of all the national parks, Sequoia had some of the most touristy lines, like at that tree. It was very respectful line. People were they're waiting to turn, but there was a line if you wanted to get your picture, your kid's picture, someone's picture in front of that tree. So, you know, secretly I did want a picture in front of the tree, but I was by myself and I didn't want it that bad, so I didn't do it. I just took a side picture, like a, you know, B class. No, I really liked this hike here. I liked how it was like you're walking on the side of the hill, so it's like flat, but you know, if you start doing somersaults down the hill, you'd Could probably go a long way. Could really, I mean, if it would hurt, but you could, if you keep just pushing and rolling. Maybe might be some miles. Oh, we're going to the campground now, which was also in the park. This is where I got. So, if you ever stay here, we had the same campground. Yeah, I know it doesn't look nice, but I threw it up, and I was like, yeah, it's good enough. There's the car, rented a car. Some stars. Josh is hanging out. So this is the final day out there. Went through Sequoia again. Walked through this log, which a beaver made this. And an old beaver. But look at that tree. It really got blasted by some lightning. It's still kicking. Look at that. Like most of the tree's gone. And that tree is still alive. That's me in front of a tree. Me walking around. I was pretty exhausted already at this point in the trip. But little did I know, like 2 days or a day later than this, I got so tired I got sick. Yikes. This is a really neat section of trees here. This video is crazy long. I'm sorry. My gosh. I wouldn't watch all of this. So, even though it's great. It was a long trip, so I made a long video. I should have made this like 5 videos. And then I could be the only one that watches all 5. Look at that. That looks neat. There's a deer hanging out in between the tree. Wonder how much longer that deer will be alive before it gets hit by a car. Because there's probably no animal bridges in the area. Sentinel. So I know everyone loves a sentinel tree. There's some Gatorade Josh got and an old can, which looks pretty sweet. I didn't have any. Look, 116 degrees. It got really hot. Then it's driving home. Want to shout out to Broadway Automotive who helped me out in a bind. If you're in Hayes, Kansas, go get your car work done by them. They're the best. Made it back to Pittsburgh. Goodbye. Thank you.